Okay, well, pretty soon we're going to be getting our next guest. Oh, it's one of my special people in the house. Mimi, how are you? Is it how did this happen? Divine
Oh my
intervention.
goodness, Hank.
Huh?
What
Divine
an honor.
intervention.
What an honor. And to be following Dr. Ken, the
Yeah,
smile king himself. Yes?
yeah, it doesn't get any better than that. I'm glad I got to be in this chair getting to talk to him, interview him. So, what a
Absolutely.
treat. We are friends. We met at a Dave Van Hoos workshop, a little camp, and had a wonderful 3 days of great speakers and sharing ideas. And here we are. I can't believe that I'm getting to share this moment with you. And why don't you start off by telling everybody where you started, where you grew up and came from to get this thing going.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Hank. You know, I wanted to give kudos to Ken because he's my brother. He's a brother from another mother, and he is part of the reason why I love to smile. And, I'm from Hawaii, so smiling just comes naturally with our culture, yes?
You got a
And
beautiful smile.
oh, thank you. And this is what you see when you meet me. And I know when I first met you, Hank, you made me smile from ear to ear because of the work that you've done. And
Thank you.
and you're part of why I love doing what I do. And that is, like Ken, is to dream so big that I get to fit other people's dreams in it. And every time I say that, people look at me and they say, well, why would you want to do that? Well, because when I get to dream along with other people, Hank, oh my goodness, the ripple effect that we make in the world is priceless. Would you agree?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. It just,
And this is what I learned. I learned from mentors like Tony Robbins and Les Brown and T. Harv Eker, and they told me, if I could make a difference in one person's life, Hank, I could ripple effect out to over 350,000 people.
it's amazing.
350,000 people. Now that really got me going because I said, wow, if I can impact one person, that dreaming so big, it's going to impact so many more people because that ripple effect will ripple out. In Hawaii, we call it a tsunami. So we're just going to tsunami that energy out and make that difference, just like what Ken's dreams were all about. You know, Ken Ken dreams big for other people. That's what the smiling movement is all about. And when I met Ken, we haven't stopped smiling since we've met. And a lot of times when we dream big, we also realize, where are we in that lifetime? And how much more do I need to step up so I can be part of the movement? And that is what I do every day now. I get to help people move from invisible to invincible, or
Wow.
invisible to influential. And when I can help someone else step up and leverage up their game, this is the belief and the greatness that aligns, that they believe in their voice, they believe that they have a story to tell, and they believe that the impact they can make in the world starts with them. And that's where the tsunami begins. And so that's my legacy. I'm not leaving, I'm building. So I'm building that tsunami so that I can move forward. And this is where in the future, you'll see Ken and I will be moving forward to make that difference. We're not just going to be making people smile. We're going to be making a difference in how lives can change. I always said, greatness means that you can align your values and your vision and your legacy, and they're all in the same room. They're all in the same room. And when they're all in the same room, we get to stand up and shine, because I can tell you this, Hank, I wasn't always visible. I used to be the girl in the back of the room who ran all these amazing events. And in order for me to step up into the front, I was told I had to learn everything from the back of the sales room all the way to the back of the stage. And when I learned it, Hank, then I could take my place on stage. How many of our listeners have had that same experience? And how many of us wanted to be not invisible, but visible? And all we really had to do, Hank, because it was my mind that kept me back, was just flip the frame and agree to step out front in the limelight. And when Ken came into my life, we were looking for different ways that we could help other people step forward. Other people find their voice and their story and their impact. And sometimes we can go months without talking, but when we get on that phone, it's as if it was just a few moments ago. That's the kind of life that I love living, Hank. And I know the impact that you've made with children also resonates with that.
Thank
And
you.
so dream big, everyone. Dream so big that you get to fit other people's dreams in it. And when you do that, bring other people along with you. Because when we bring them along, we start creating a movement of followers, not followers, leaders. So when we create leaders of leaders, everyone gets the chance to shine, and they know when to step up, when to step to the side, and when to step right back into that limelight, and understand that when they make that choice, they do get to share their voice and their story and the impact. When the impact hits and legacies actually live on, that's the kind of life that we can look back on and say, wow, we've made a big difference, haven't we? And that's
It's
where we're at.
fantastic.
What was that, Hank?
I said it's fantastic. What is the one thing that you bring to them? I know uh, the one thing that they really need is just that initial push. Just go. It's just break out of that shell and go. I mean, what have you got to lose? I mean, you have everything to gain.
I think the biggest thing that I know I put out there is that I see people and I hear them. Those are two big things that in today's world humans need to hear and feel, is to be seen and heard. And it's amazing. It's amazing to see when someone actually feels like they've been heard, Hank. They become unstoppable. I don't need to tell them, come on, guys, you got to do this. I don't have to coax anybody. They do it on their own, and they do it on their own time. And you know what's amazing is when we can actually find the vision and the mission that they truly can get behind, and it aligns, then everything they do, Hank, just goes forward.
It all works in one direction.
Absolutely. Just like watching you doing that ski jump, you went in the right direction, in the right velocity. Yes. And you were
Yes.
able to do things that no human had ever done.
Yeah. And it was just, was that direction and focus. It was just,
Absolutely.
not letting anything deter that thought. It just had to be positive and just go. Believe in yourself. And I think that's the one thing you bring out in people is you get them to believe in themselves. And once you believe in yourself, then you're off to the races.
You know, there was one story I'll share with you. There was a 10-year-old that I met at an event, and she was in the back of the room where I was taking care of sales and things like that. And she said, her name was Maddie. And Maddie said, Miss Mamie, what can a 10-year-old do? And I said, oh, wow. Maddie, a 10-year-old can change the world. And she looked at me and she said, what do you mean a 10-year-old can change the world? And I said, Maddie, what do you think you can do to help change the world? And she said, Miss Mamie, I need to think about that. So she went away, Hank, and she thought about it. And she was so excited. She came back. She came back maybe about an hour later and she said, I got it, Miss Mamie. I said, yes. What are you going to do, Maddie? She said, Miss Mamie, I'm going to write a book. And I said,
Wow.
what book are you going to write? And this kind of chokes me up because her story was this. She said, so Hank, she said, my dad, Miss Mamie, my dad made a lot of mistakes. And he made so many mistakes that he's now in prison. And I said, wow, Maddie, so what story are you going to tell? And she said, she looked me straight in the eye, Hank, and she said, Miss Mamie, the story I'm going to tell is this. Everyone makes mistakes, and I still love my dad. And Hank, she wrote that story. And
Wow.
a year later, Maddie calls. She says, Miss Mamie, I hear you're going to be in Pennsylvania. I said, yes, I'll be in Pennsylvania. She said, I got a present for you. I said, I'm looking forward to it. And before she even wrote the book, she told me some of the dreams that she wanted, Hank. She wanted to be a voice for children. She wanted to go like a child. She wanted to go see Lord of the Rings, the place where they shot the film. When she met me in Pennsylvania, Hank, she handed over the book and she said, I looked at it, and sure enough, her book said, everyone makes mistakes, and I still love my dad.
Well,
And I
maybe
said,
that's a great story and a great way to conclude this smiling thon with a wonderful story and that beautiful smile of yours right now. And thank
oh,
you so much for being a part of this Smile-A-Thon and your wonderful
absolutely.
smile and the wonderful things you're doing in the world to help people's lives and keep those smiles smiling.
Thank you, hon. You have an amazing day. Keep smiling.
I'm going to. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.